Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had a moment where someone's words or actions ruined your entire day? Maybe it was a rude comment, a disrespectful driver, or a family member who just knows how to push your buttons. But what if I told you you never have to let anyone bother you again? Not because the world will change, not because people will suddenly become kinder, but because you will change how you react. Today, I'm going to give you 6 powerful keys that will make you untouchable, so that no situation, no insult, and no criticism can shake your peace. Most people live in a state of reaction. They think that when someone disrespects them, dismisses them, or mistreats them, it's a direct reflection of their worth. But that's a lie. It's a lie society teaches us to believe. We grow up thinking that if someone speaks harshly to us, it's because we did something wrong. If someone ignores us, it's because we don't matter. If someone betrays us, it's because we weren't enough. But here's the truth. How people act isn't about you. It's about them, their reality, their battles, their fears, their world. You are walking through your life carrying your dreams, your struggles, your hopes. And then you cross paths with someone who is harsh, someone who seems determined to pull you down. And immediately your mind races. What did I do? Why don't they like me? How could they treat me this way? But let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a truly happy, deeply fulfilled person go out of their way to hurt someone else? Of course not. That's not what joy does. That's not what self-worth does. That's not what confidence does. People don't tear others down when they feel whole. People don't lash out when they are at peace. People don't betray, dismiss, or attack others when they are secure in who they are. That rude customer service rep, she might have just found out she's losing her home. That boss who never seems to appreciate you, maybe he's carrying the weight of a failing marriage on his back. That friend who betrayed you, maybe he's drowning in his own insecurities, terrified of being seen as small, so he tries to make others feel small. People act out of their own reality, not yours. And when you begin to understand this, truly understand this, you free yourself. You stop carrying the weight of other people's actions like it's your responsibility. Because let's be real, how much time have you wasted in your life wondering why someone treated you the way they did? How much energy have you given to people who hurt you, replaying their words, their actions, trying to decode them like some impossible puzzle? What if you could take all that time, all that energy, and pour it into yourself instead? What if instead of internalizing other people's pain, you recognized it for what it is? Their pain, not yours. Their struggle, not your failure. Their storm, not your burden. When you get this, when you really let it sink in, something shifts. Suddenly you're not so easily shaken. You don't shrink when someone lashes out at you. You lose sleep over someone else's judgment. You don't let their negativity plant roots in your mind. Instead, you become untouchable. Not in an arrogant way, not in a way that dismisses other people's pain, but in a way that protects your own peace. Because here's the thing. If you allow yourself to be defined by how others treat you, you give away all your power. You let strangers, bad days, and insecure people dictate your worth. And that's no way to live. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning and you decide, today I will not be swayed by the moods of others. Today I will not absorb the anger, the insecurity, the frustration that others throw around. Today I will walk in my own light. And when someone tries to dim it, I will remind myself that their actions are not a mirror of me. They are a reflection of them. So when someone disrespects you, you don't take it personally. When someone ignores you, you don't let it shake your confidence. When someone betrays you, you don't make it a story about your own worth. Instead, you see it for what it is, a symptom of their world, not a definition of yours. And let's take it one step further. What if instead of just recognizing this truth, you started applying it with empathy? What if, instead of reacting to someone's negativity with your own, you chose to rise above it? What if, instead of snapping back, shutting down, or retaliating, you decided to meet their pain with understanding? Now, I'm not saying tolerate abuse. I'm not saying allow people to treat you poorly. Boundaries are powerful, necessary. But what if, in the moments where you can, you choose to see past someone's behavior and into their pain? Because when you do, something incredible happens. The power dynamic shifts. Suddenly, their anger doesn't feel like an attack, it feels like a call for help. Their rudeness doesn't feel like an insult, it feels like a sign of struggle. Their judgment doesn't feel like a weapon, it feels like a shield they're using to protect themselves. You see, most people are walking around in pain. Most people are battling demons no one else can see. And the unfortunate truth is that pain, when left unhealed, often spills over. It lashes out, it wounds others, it creates cycles of hurt. But you don't have to be part of that cycle. You don't have to absorb the pain of others and turn it into your own. So today, I want you to make a decision to stop carrying the weight of other people's actions like they define you. A decision to stop internalizing the moods, the judgments, the mistreatment of others as if it says something about who you are. A decision to walk in your own strength, to hold your own power, to remain steady in who you are, no matter how the world around you behaves. Because the truth is, when you stop reacting to others, when you stop making their behavior about you, when you stop allowing their actions to dictate your energy, you become something so many people wish they could be: free from resentment, free from self-doubt, free from the endless, exhausting cycle of questioning your worth based on how others treat you. And that is real power. That is the kind of strength that transforms lives. That is the kind of presence that shifts rooms. That is the kind of energy that turns you into the person you were always meant to be. So walk in that, own that, and remember, how people act is about them. How you respond, that's about you. And that, my friend, is where your power lives. You stand at the edge of a moment where the way you think about yourself and your emotions will either make you or break you. We have all been there, feeling frustrated, hurt, disrespected, thrown off course by the words and actions of others. But what if I told you that the key to your freedom, your strength, your peace is not in controlling those around you, but in mastering the art of emotional detachment? Imagine walking through a crowded marketplace. Voices rise and fall, emotions swirl in the air, laughter, anger, excitement, frustration. In the middle of it all, a man steps forward and hurls an insult at a monk. His words are sharp, aimed like daggers at the monk's sense of self. But the monk, he smiles. He looks the man in the eyes, calm as the still water of a sacred lake, and says, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The man, confused, replies, "To the giver, of course." The monk nods and says, "Then I do not accept your anger, and it remains with you." What power, what absolute unshakable control. This is the mastery of emotional detachment, not in a way that makes you cold, indifferent, or uncaring, but in a way that makes you free. How many times have you given your peace away to someone who did not earn it? How many times have you allowed the moods, opinions, or actions of others to dictate how you feel, how you move through your day, how you see yourself? You let someone cut you off in traffic and suddenly your morning is ruined. A coworker disrespects you and it lingers in your mind for hours, eating away at your energy. A family member's criticism shakes your confidence and you start to doubt yourself. Why? Why do we let others have that kind of power over us? Because we attach our emotions to things outside of our control. We take someone else's bad day and make it our own. We take their insecurities, their issues, their negativity, and absorb them as if they were our own reality. But here's the truth. You cannot control what people do, but you can control what you attach your emotions to. Think of a mountain. The wind howls, storms rage, the seasons change, but the mountain remains. It does not bow to the storm. It does not crumble under the weight of the rain. It stands. And that is what you must become. A force so steady, so unwavering that no matter what comes your way, you do not break. This is not to say that emotions do not matter. Emotions are powerful, necessary, deeply human, but they should serve you, not enslave you. Emotional detachment is not about shutting down. It's about choosing where your energy goes. It's about stepping back and saying, does this serve me? Does this deserve my peace? The moment you learn to master this, your world shifts. Arguments that once drained you now seem insignificant. Criticism that once hurt you now feels like background noise. People's actions, their moods, their projections no longer shake you. You reclaim your power, but how do you do it? How do you train yourself to detach when your instincts pull you toward reaction? First, you must pause. Just pause. When someone says something that stings, before you react, take a breath. Create space between stimulus and response. Ask yourself, is this about me or is this about them? More often than not, it's about them, their issues, their fears, their perceptions. And you don't have to accept that energy. Second, visualize yourself as that mountain. When negativity comes your way, picture yourself standing strong, immovable. The words may come, the emotions may swirl, but they do not shake you. You let them pass like the wind. This is your strength. This is your power. Third, shift your focus. When negativity tries to pull you in, don't dwell on it. Instead, pour your energy into something that lifts you. Gratitude, purpose, the vision you are building for your life. When you realize that your focus is your fuel, you will stop wasting it on things that do not serve you. You have a choice every single day. Will you let the actions of others control your state of mind? Will you give away your peace for the sake of temporary reactions? Or will you stand firm, hold your power, and refuse to let anything outside of you dictate the way you feel? The world is filled with noise. There will always be critics. There will always be challenges. There will always be situations designed to test you. But when you learn to detach, to master your emotions rather than be mastered by them, you rise above it all. You step into a new level of power. You move through life with a presence that commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. You radiate confidence, not because others approve of you, but because you approve of yourself. This is your moment. This is your turning point. Decide now that no one, no words, no actions, no situation will have the power to shake you. Decide now that your peace is yours and yours alone. Decide now that you will master the art of emotional detachment and become unshakable. Every single day, life throws challenges at us. We get stuck in traffic, we receive harsh words from a coworker, we face rejection, setbacks, disappointments. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, is it really the event that upsets me, or is it what I tell myself about the event? Because here's the truth. It's not what happens to you, but how you interpret it that shapes your emotions, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. Picture two people in identical situations. They're both cut off in traffic by a reckless driver. One of them slams their hand on the steering wheel, veins popping, shouting, "How dare they? Who do they think they are? People are so selfish." Their heart pounds, their blood pressure skyrockets, and for the next 30 minutes, they're still fuming, still replaying the scene in their head. They drag that anger into their next interaction. But the other person? They take a deep breath and think, maybe they're rushing to an emergency. Maybe they're just having a bad day. And just like that, they move on. They let it go. The same event, two entirely different experiences. The difference? The story they told themselves. Your inner dialogue is the most powerful force in shaping your life, and yet, most people have never learned to control it. Most people let their thoughts run wild, reacting impulsively, letting every little inconvenience dictate their emotions. They don't realize that they have the power to shift their perception, to rewrite their story, to transform frustration into understanding, anger into peace, pain into growth. Think back to a time when you felt deeply hurt by someone's words. Maybe it was a friend who didn't call you back, a boss who overlooked your hard work, a partner who said something careless. The moment it happened, your mind crafted a story. They don't care about me. I'm not important to them. And what happened? You felt hurt, rejected, maybe even furious. But what if you had told yourself a different story? What if you had thought, maybe they were just overwhelmed? Maybe they're dealing with something I don't know about. That one shift in perspective would have changed everything. Your mind is like a movie projector, constantly playing scenes from your life. But here's the thing. You are both the director and the script writer. You decide what plays on that screen. You decide whether to play the horror film of your failures, betrayals, and disappointments on a loop, or to edit the narrative and play a film of resilience, lessons learned, and unstoppable growth. Let's talk about anger. Most of the time, our anger isn't caused by what actually happened. It's caused by what we tell ourselves about what happened. Someone cuts you off, you tell yourself they're an inconsiderate jerk, and suddenly your blood is boiling. But what if you never assigned that meaning to the event? What if you simply saw it as neutral, as something that didn't deserve your energy? You'd be free. Because every single time you let anger consume you, you're handing over control. You're letting an external event dictate your inner world, and that is a power you should never, ever give away. And let's not stop at anger. Think about fear. How many times have you held yourself back from an opportunity, not because of reality, but because of the story you told yourself? What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if I'm not good enough? But what if you flipped the script? What if you said, what if I succeed? What if this changes everything? What if I'm more capable than I ever imagined? One story keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. And the only thing standing between them is the dialogue you choose. The greats, the legends, the people who break barriers and redefine success, they aren't superhuman. They don't have fewer obstacles, fewer hardships, fewer reasons to complain. No, they simply control their inner dialogue. When others say, I can't do this, they say, I'll find a way. When others say, this is impossible, they say, watch me. Their circumstances don't shape them, their mindset does. You have to take ownership of the words running through your mind because those words become your reality. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm unlucky, I'm not good enough, people always let me down, then guess what? That becomes your truth. But the moment you start shifting your inner dialogue, I create my own luck. I am more than enough. I attract the right people into my life. Your entire world starts to change. Not because magic happens, but because your actions, your decisions, and your energy start aligning with that new belief system. This isn't just positive thinking. This is about rewiring your brain for success, for peace, for happiness. The science backs it up. When you repeatedly tell yourself a thought, your brain builds neural pathways to support it. If you constantly reinforce negative self-talk, you deepen those grooves in your brain. But if you consistently practice empowering self-talk, you build new pathways, stronger ones that propel you forward instead of holding you back. So how do you start? The first step is awareness. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. When something upsets you, stop and ask, what am I telling myself about this? Is this the only way to see it? Could there be another interpretation that serves me better? Next, challenge your thoughts. Don't just accept them as truth. If your mind says, I'll never succeed at this, ask yourself, is that really true? Have I ever succeeded at something before? What if I just haven't found the right approach yet? And finally, practice. Rewriting your inner dialogue is a skill, just like learning a language or building muscle. You won't master it overnight, but with consistency, you will transform the way you experience life, because in the end, life is going to keep throwing challenges at you. That's inevitable. But how you experience those challenges, that's entirely up to you. You have the power to shape your emotions, your reactions, your destiny. The question is, are you ready to take control? Why do words have power over us? Why do insults and criticism strike like daggers, making us recoil, doubt, and shrink? The truth is, they only wound us when they echo something we secretly fear. If someone accused you of being a 7-foot alien from another planet, you'd laugh. Why? Because you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it isn't true. But if someone calls you a failure, unworthy, unlovable, and it stings, that's because deep down you fear there may be truth in their words. That's where the damage happens, not in the words themselves, but in the tiny hidden cracks of our own self-belief. This is why developing unshakable self-worth is not just important, it is essential. It is the foundation upon which every dream is built. It is the armor that shields you, the force that moves you, the fire that fuels you when the world tries to put you out. When you know your worth, nothing and no one can make you question it. You become immovable, unstoppable, unbreakable. You rise, no matter how many times you fall. Think of a lion. A lion does not turn when a small dog barks. It does not seek approval. It does not concern itself with the opinions of sheep. It knows what it is. It knows its strength. It knows its purpose. And so should you. When you step into your own power, the noise of the world fades into nothing. The opinions of others become irrelevant, like the wind shifting through the trees. Present, but powerless to uproot you. You stand firm because you know who you are. But how do you get there? How do you develop this unshakable foundation? It starts with recognizing the lies you've been telling yourself, the quiet whispers of doubt that have lived inside you for too long. I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. I don't deserve happiness. These are not truths. These are borrowed beliefs, inherited fears, reflections of other people's limitations, not your own. And the moment you decide to reject them, to strip them of their power, is the moment you take back control of your life. The world will test you. It will challenge you. It will try to shake you. People will judge you, criticize you, try to define you. But their words only have weight if you let them. Their opinions only matter if you believe them. When you know your worth, when you stand in the truth of who you are, nothing can touch you. The words become empty. The fear dissolves. You rise above. Understand this. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the confidence, the belief, the certainty you seek. You must create it. You must build it from the inside out. Every day, every decision, every thought either strengthens your foundation or weakens it, and that power is yours. It has always been yours. You are not defined by your past. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are not what others say about you. You are what you decide to become. Every time you choose to believe in yourself, every time you refuse to let doubt win, every time you rise despite the voices telling you to stay down, you build a self-worth so unshakable that no storm can break it. Because here's the truth. You are worthy, not because of what you do, not because of what you achieve, but simply because you exist. No one can take that from you. No one can diminish it. The only question is, will you claim it? Will you own it? Will you stand in it with unshakable certainty? Because the moment you do, everything changes. One of the greatest sources of frustration in life comes from the gap between our expectations and reality. We go through our days anticipating that people will behave the way we believe they should, that circumstances will unfold the way we want, that life will play by our rules. And when that doesn't happen, we feel hurt, betrayed, frustrated, even angry. But here's the truth. Life doesn't owe you anything. People don't owe you anything. The sooner you let go of your expectations, the sooner you free yourself from disappointment and find peace. Think about the last time someone let you down. Maybe a friend didn't show up when you needed them. Maybe a colleague took credit for your work. Maybe someone you trusted broke a promise. What was at the root of your frustration? It wasn't just their actions. It was your expectation that they would act differently. You expected loyalty, honesty, fairness. But reality doesn't cater to your expectations. People act according to their own nature, their own experiences, their own priorities, not yours. Now, this doesn't mean you stop believing in kindness or fairness. It doesn't mean you let people walk all over you. It means you shift your mindset. Instead of expecting, you start accepting. Instead of assuming people will behave a certain way, you acknowledge that they are who they are and you adapt accordingly. You stop placing the burden of your happiness on how others act and you take full ownership of your emotional state. This shift is where true freedom lies. Imagine walking into every situation with no expectations, no assumptions about how people will treat you, no preconceived notions about how things should go. Just a mindset of complete acceptance for whatever happens. If someone is kind to you, you feel gratitude. If someone is rude, you recognize it's a reflection of them, not you, and you move on. You don't waste your energy dwelling on what should have been. You embrace what is. Because here's the truth. Every time you expect something from someone, you give them power over you. You hand them the keys to your emotion, and that's a dangerous game. When you expect nothing, you become untouchable. You become unshakable. You develop a quiet, unstoppable confidence that no one can take away from you. Think about it. Have you ever seen a truly confident person begging for approval? No. Have you ever seen a strong, self-assured person obsess over whether someone likes them? No. because those people have mastered this principle. They expect nothing, so they are never disappointed. They accept everything, so they are never rattled. They navigate life on their own terms, and that is what makes them powerful. Let's talk about relationships. So many relationships, whether romantic, professional, or personal, are destroyed not because of what actually happens, but because of unspoken expectations. You expect your partner to know exactly what you need without telling them. You expect your boss to recognize your hard work and reward you. You expect your friends to be there for you the way you are for them. And when they don't meet those expectations, you feel resentment. You feel hurt. But the problem isn't them. The problem is the expectation you placed on them without their knowledge or agreement. So what if instead you simply accepted people for who they are? You stopped expecting them to be mind readers. You stopped holding them to a standard they never agreed to. You appreciated what they did offer instead of dwelling on what they didn't. You communicated openly, set boundaries, and moved forward with clarity and peace instead of frustration and disappointment. This shift will change your life. It will free you from so much unnecessary stress. It will allow you to see people as they truly are rather than through the lens of who you want them to be. And it will give you back control of your emotions. Now, this doesn't mean you tolerate mistreatment. Accepting everything doesn't mean allowing everything. If someone repeatedly disrespects you, you don't have to keep them in your life. If a job isn't recognizing your value, you can leave. If a situation is unhealthy, you can walk away. Acceptance isn't about passivity. It's about clarity. It's about seeing things for what they are and making empowered choices based on reality, not illusion. Life is unpredictable. People are unpredictable. The world will not always meet your expectations, but that doesn't mean you have to suffer. When you expect nothing and accept everything, you step into your power. You stop chasing control over things you can't change, and you focus on what you can. Your mindset, your reactions, your choices. Every time something doesn't go your way, you have a choice. You can resist, complain, and stay stuck in frustration. Or you can accept it, adapt, and move forward. The first path leads to constant disappointment. The second path leads to peace and strength. Which one do you want to walk? Let go of expectations. Let go of the need for things to be a certain way. Trust yourself to handle whatever comes, because when you do that, you become unstoppable. You become someone who cannot be shaken by life's uncertainties. You become free. Many people go through life convinced that winning arguments, proving points, and making sure others see things their way is the path to success, to validation, to power. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself at what cost? At what cost do we engage in battles that drain our energy, consume our happiness, and leave us exhausted and unfulfilled? What if I told you that the true power doesn't lie in being right, but in being at peace? Imagine a moment in your life where you stood your ground in an argument, determined to be the one who walked away victorious. Maybe it was with a colleague, a friend, or even a loved one. The adrenaline surged through you, your mind raced with counterpoints, and at the end of it all, you won. But did you? Sure, you got your way, you had the final word, but what did it leave you with? Did it strengthen the relationship? Did it make you feel lighter? Or did it only create a rift, another wall, another reason to hold on to anger? So many of us are trapped in the need to be right because somewhere along the way we confused it with self-worth. We believed that if we weren't seen as correct, if we didn't defend our stance, then somehow we were less. But let me tell you something. Choosing peace over being right is not weakness. It's the greatest form of strength. It takes wisdom to recognize that some battles don't deserve your energy. It takes courage to walk away when you know engaging will only steal your peace. It takes power to say, I choose me. I choose my joy. I choose peace. Think of the most powerful people in history, the ones who truly made an impact. They weren't the ones who argued endlessly, who fought to be seen as the smartest, the most correct. No. They were the ones who understood that true influence doesn't come from being right. It comes from being wise. It comes from knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to stand firm and when to let go. It comes from understanding that peace isn't just something we wish for. It's something we choose, moment by moment, every single day. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but if I don't defend myself, Won't people walk all over me? That's the fear speaking. That's the ego clinging to control. Choosing peace doesn't mean allowing yourself to be disrespected or mistreated. It means understanding the difference between what truly matters and what is simply noise. It means discerning when to use your voice to make a difference and when to step back, because the battle is not worth the price of your inner peace. Think about the people in your life who always have to be right, the ones who can't let go, who argue over the smallest things, who carry grudges like heavy stones. Are they happy? Do they radiate joy? Or do they seem burdened, weighed down by the constant need to prove something? Now think about the people who move through life with ease, who let things go, who choose kindness over conflict. They exude something different, don't they? They carry a lightness, a sense of freedom that is rare and beautiful. That is the power of choosing peace. Every day, life will present you with opportunities to choose. The driver who cuts you off, the coworker who takes credit for your idea, the family member who just won't let go of the past. You will be tempted to engage, to fight, to prove your point. But before you do, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my peace? And if the answer is no, walk away. Not in defeat, but in victory. Because the real win isn't in proving someone else wrong. It's in knowing yourself so deeply that you don't need to. It's in valuing your energy so fiercely that you refuse to waste it on things that don't serve you. The world is full of noise, arguments, debates, people fighting to be seen, to be heard, to be right. But the ones who truly stand out, the ones who leave a mark, are the ones who choose something different. They choose grace over aggression, wisdom over impulse, peace over being right. And in doing so, they find a power greater than anything else. The power of a mind that is free, a heart that is light, and a soul that is at peace.